Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for attending today's discussion on artificial intelligence and its role in shaping the future of mental health care. This topic will be presented by Sushil Eapen, CEO of Silver Oak Health, and the Chief Technology Officer, Vijay Sharma. If you have any questions, please post it on the Q&A tab, which is located on the top right corner of your screen. We will also do our best to answer all of these questions at the end of the session. Let me now hand over this presentation to Sushil.
Hi, everybody. My name is Sushil Eapen. I am the Chief Executive Officer of Silver Oak Health. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about the artificial intelligence and the future of mental health. As you're aware, mental health is already one of the largest problems inside the healthcare industry. There are some statistics to indicate that in our own lifetime, at least 1 out of 2 of us will encounter some kind of a mental health episode that would require some kind of an intervention. This mental health problem affects children, it affects young adults, it affects adults of all ages, it also affects people of geriatric age group. Did you know that there is a classification called DSM? It's in the 5th edition right now. It classifies all the different mental health challenges that we know of today. And as of today, there are nearly 300 different mental health challenges that are coded and classified. Among them, depression and anxiety are one of the leading challenges faced by most people around the world. And even depression, it goes through various stages. There's something called mild to moderate depression, which is somewhat common. And then there is another stage called clinical depression. And in some extreme cases, it leads to suicidal ideation. And in some cases, people take their own lives. In the Western world, suicide is already approaching as one of the top 10 reasons for death. And that includes even accidents. You can now see how big this problem is and the fact that this is an area that is ripe for disruption. Having said that, why is this problem so hard to solve? We've been able to, the medical professionals have been able to get a fairly good grip on heart disease, diabetes, or liver damage, or kidney failure. But mental health challenges are still not been effectively solved. Part of the reason being that all of us are quite different. Our personalities are different. Culturally, we are different. And most importantly, our coping skills are also quite different. Part of it, partly coming from our DNA, partly from what we have learned. And the stress challenges that we face are also different throughout our lifetime. And our limited understanding of the outcomes of some of the treatment and the symptoms of these depression and similar problems is also compounding to the difficulty in finding an effective solution for mental health challenges. But we are quite certain the artificial intelligence and the new technologies, along with data science, can actually get a better understanding about the measurement of the outcomes, effectiveness of the treatment. And overall, we are quite optimistic that artificial intelligence will actually help to improve not only the efficacy, but also the delivery of the mental health services for the whole world. Let's now take a look at what are the trends that are to be expected in the area of mental health due to advances in technologies. One of the areas that we are expecting in significant improvement is the measurement of mental health symptoms or the diagnostics and screening. As you know today, most of the mental health assessment are in the form of questionnaires. At best, it has moved into digital way of delivery of these assessment, but it is still not as effective. And we expect that some of the ways in which we measure the outcomes would improve because of artificial intelligence and machine learning. And so expect a lot of changes and disruptions in this area in the diagnosis side. We will also have a better understanding about the efficacy of talk therapy. talk therapy has been around for a long period of time, and there have been some improvements. For example, um, cognitive behavior therapy that is incorporated into most of the talk therapy is been found to be effective. But still, there are some problems there. I mean, a lot of people drop out of therapy, so they don't complete the session and they don't improve. And so there will be a lot of improvements because of the way we are able to measure, where can go back and see how effective the therapy is. And this way, expect a lot of improvements in the efficacy of the therapy. Chatbots are nothing new. Mental health chatbots have been around for some time now. They're not perfect. And with the advancement of the technology, keep an eye on this space because there are a lot of interest in chatbots, a lot of interest in people wanting to interact with the chatbot, particularly the younger population and certain groups of people that may prefer to chat with chatbots over a human interaction. Expect some changes in that space also. The other area is virtual reality and augmented reality. The area of virtual reality is already, there have been some research and there have been some breakthrough for therapists. For example, we have created some immersive environment that can help to address problems such as anxiety, phobias, even fear of height. It's already there. Expect some improvement in that area also. Augmented realities it works side by side with the human experience. Expect some improvements in this area for facial recognition that could give us some early indications of potential problems such as depression. Wearable devices and sensors. We are already seeing some of these sensors that are out there, wearable devices. It has not been that great at this point of time. So expect the much more improvements in the space. And because of that, we are able to get early indications of any possible mental health challenges. Where does this all leave the human therapist experience? We believe as a company and that the human experience is not going to go away. And I think the technology and all of the things I just talked about will sit side by side with the human therapist experience. Yeah. Now, here are the what does it mean to for most of you in terms of all of these advancement in technology. Soon you'll find more and more of your friends and family members will be using some mental health app or the other. If you think that there is enough mental health challenges in the next decade or more, expect to have more problems. And in just a matter of time, you'll find most of your friends and family members will be using some kind of a mental health app or the other, either to chat with a counselor or maybe access to a counselor, or maybe even say learn some mindfulness practices. So you'll find that to be very prevalent. You will find many of your friends and family members wearing some kind of a device or the other. As the devices get better, it will give people early indications of any stress challenges or burnout that they may be experiencing, and so they can do something about it. The therapy, like I said earlier, has been around since the early 19th century. Since then, even though some advancements have been there, there has never been any quantum leap in terms of efficacy of the therapy. What is the current research is going on is that they're trying to understand in a 50-minute therapy session, what is the active ingredient that really works? And if you're able to determine that, we can extract that out and deliver that through chatbots. And maybe even the therapist will be better equipped to deliver that so people get better and faster. Yeah. And like I said earlier, there is no expectation that the human interventions will go away anytime soon. There is something called the authenticity of a conversation between another human being. And I think that is what most people will crave for. So we expect all this technology will sit side by side with the human experience. As for the access to most people, currently, part of the reason why mental health solutions are not reaching most of the people, even though digital delivery has already been around for some time, is because the personalized experience is limited. All of us have different language preferences, socioeconomic differences, access to internet and smartphone. They will all get better. And then there will come a time where these mental health solutions, along with highly effective therapy solution, will be available to all the people and all the time. Finally, when people see more success, that more when people come out and say that, you know what, before and after this, there's been a significant improvement for me, more and more people will come forward and consume these mental health services. With all of this in mind, Silver Oak Health, we are one of the most progressive EAP companies in the country at this point of time. We have come up with one of the most advanced EAP app that has got all the AI features and chatbots built into it. To talk more about it, I'd like to invite our Chief Technology Officer and the architect behind this mental health app, Vijay Sharma, to take you through this app. Over to you, Vijay.
Okay. Thanks, Sushil. Thanks, Sushil, for that setting us the different currently trends and the future that we see in the mental health part of it. Okay. So overall, I'm excited to share today the most advanced, like Sushil said, the app, EAP app that we have developed. What we'll be doing is that in another 10 to 15 minutes coming, we will be going through the top features of the app, what are there, what is available for our users to use it, followed by a live working demo of some of the features that we would like to also be seeing in the coming time. Okay. Now, before we start with the app top features and all, I would also like to take a step back and present to you three different kinds of personas to kind of, we can relate to it. We can see, okay, who are these people and what we are talking about. So Sushil, if we move to the next one, okay. I've selected three different personas, and these people can be anybody among us. Okay, they're not outside of it. They are most of us like corporate employees, works in different industries, different environments. The first one is Priya, approximately 22-year-old. So you can assume she probably have got her first job. She's moving to a different city. She is going through different, you can say, anxieties, a lot of, okay, what is going to happen, how my new team will be, how my new job will be. And also adding to it, she has to leave her hometown where she was till now and move to a different city. So she's going through a different set of challenges on her own. Next is, let's talk about a person, Amit. Okay, he's close to 30 years, works in a little adjoining industry, consulting. Okay, he is doing quite good in his career. I'm happy for Amit, and he has recently got a couple of promotions, doing nicely through it. He might or might not be going through some or other challenges, but we will look into more detail what kind of interventions or what kind of maybe a well-being journey would Amit would like. Okay. Now, the third persona that we have selected, the third person we have selected is somewhere a little on the older side, somewhere around 45, 50-year-old person, working in a little different industry, mostly manufacturing industry, where the plants, the factories are little away from big cities. So the person kind of stays away from family, away from kids, and goes through different kind of interventions or different kind of challenges, maybe through his thing. Now we'll try to understand the features, try to understand how these people can, the app is getting personalized with that. Before that, let's see what are the top features with this, the new app that we are bringing in are there. Okay. The first one is, since we said each one is different, why the app for them needs to be the same. The first one is the hyper personalization. That means all of us today in this meeting or after this, if you're going to use the app, the interventions, the content, the kind of responses we will see from our Silver Oak Health new app would be very much tailored, curated for our each individual needs. And with time, the app will learn more about you and kind of become a well-being companion where it goes along with you in your wellness journey and try to provide you the most possible solution among all the interventions that we have. We will also see with this some kind of new pathways that we are calling it. Those are your, in our terms, we are calling it goals and mini therapies. So these are very structured, clinically evaluated and proven kind of smaller programs and mostly a self-driven kind of thing. So once a counseling session is there before the next counseling session comes, users can go through these programs. They can see, okay, what they are in, they can learn something from it. We are also with this new app introducing our new chatbot called as Tashi. So Tashi will assist you in navigating through the app. Tashi will also assist you in booking the appointments and kind of make your experience in using the app very engaging. We will also see how does that work about. This comes with entirely new design, a design which is more appealing to the current users, the current employees that we're talking about. We have done a lot of research into it, a lot of data-driven research has went to it, into seeing what kind of designs nowadays employees generally find comfortable with. So the apps that are most frequently used, the kind of the design elements from that is just something we can bring it to the app. Those have also been done. We have put a lot of efforts on the discovery part of it, because since we have been into the business for a couple of years, we already have a huge amount of data, huge amount of content, huge amount of analytics that we have done in the past years. Okay, what kind of content people like, what kind of technologies or what kind of articles, interventions people like. So all of this have been fed into it, and now we have made it very seamless for somebody to look for and find the content what they're looking for. So somebody looking for sleep, somebody looking for meditation, somebody looking for a counseling related things. We have tried to make the entire journey of that, the idea from the which they want to search the content, and the content is available very seamless. And like earlier talked about, we are a lot of these things are data driven, starting from your design, starting from the interventions that you see, going towards the your profile, going to a lot of these things are highly driven by data that we see here. Next is I'll show you a working demo of some of these things. I'll take help of the personas that we talk about so that we can relate to it. How does it looks into it? Okay, Sushil, I'll be sharing my screen.
Sure.
And nice. So this is, I'm not doing the login part of it. This is once we log in, this is where do we land. We call this our dashboard. So if you see here, okay, very nicely, we have tried to marry both the cutting edge technology as well as the human centric design. So you see a lot of features from the AI as well, and you see a lot of design elements into this side of it. Before moving to the persona, let's quickly go through what the user first see here. Currently, I have selected some kind of already pre-fill data. So initially, you see there's a top bar there, which is very much evident into all. Something of the interest of HR will be that it gives a space for all of us to customize or to brand with our own organization logos. We have tried to keep it very simple. We just show home and discover option to them, followed by there is a search bar and a lot of other options that we see here. Okay. On the other side of it, bottom, okay, there's a mood meter that comes there, then followed by a lot of intervention that we see here. And then there's an option to book a counseling one. Now let's see how does this change based upon all of us who will be using it separately. I'll again go back to my personas. Okay, let's talk about Priya again. So Priya moved to a different city. Priya is very much anxious about what all is happening in her life, what kind of new people she is going to meet, the new places she is going to do it. Okay, so her company has subscription for Silver Oak Health. She is like she has this app downloaded. Now she comes here and she kind of says, okay, today I am feeling kind of low because a lot of thoughts and moods are coming in my life, and I don't know what is going to happen. A lot of anxiety, a lot of other things are there. So she says low and thoughts and moods. Now, as soon as he provides it, you see the options that Priya sees are very much personalized to her. So we show her a lot of content related to, okay, how you can reduce your anxiety. Okay, then so these are the top 2 picks for Priya, then followed by a couple of more picks what we feel like that are the most relevant for Priya's in well-being journey at the current point of the time. So she is given option to do some programs on stress management. She can also understand more about anxieties. She can also probably go understand what is the counseling and start and maybe book an appointment, and also a couple of exercises on mindfulness related things. Now let's see if Amit goes to that, what does Amit see as it? So like I said, Amit is doing good. He is extremely happy. He's having a good work-life balance. Consulting is something he like. He's generally doing good. Okay. Now let's see what Amit says. So Amit goes in the app. Amit says, probably today I'm feeling very good because I'm getting time to spend with my friends. I'm doing everything good. My work-life balance is good. Now to the Amit, if you see, we have remove the options of counseling and other things are not available. There are different set of hyper personalized options what Amit says. So Amit says, okay, probably something related with relationships. He can do an assessment, how satisfied is he with the relationships. Okay. He can also understand and know more about himself as an individual. Maybe what is his lung language, what is the different things, and a little bit of work related, a little bit of friendship, a little bit of other things we can try to improve and at least continue on the same journey that he is going through. Now, each one that you see here can be a blog, can be a video, can be a mindfulness track, can be a mini therapy, or can be a podcast. So each one is different interventions, but what comes here is automatically personalized for the user who is going through the journey. Let's see what does Venkatesh sees when he comes into the app. So like I said, he is staying away from his family, a lot of anxiety, a lot of things what is going to happen, and kind of suffering from a lot of different sleep related issues. So now when Venkatesh comes here, okay, he says, I am feeling very low among the 5 options that are available. And then what is the reason for him to feeling very low? He says probably sleep, because I'm not getting very sleep. I'm not very energetic next days. Now let's see what are the options that he sees. Okay, so Venkatesh options, like you see, are very much customized to what probably would be the best suited for him. So one is a mini therapy sleep 101, which is more about how to get more about how you can sleep better. Then there are other mindfulness tracks onto how he can probably something related to, for example, if you see this is a mindfulness track for sleep. And then more tracks into deep relaxation, more tracks about checking assessment, how mindful he is, and understanding more about the sleep language. So this is when we talk about that the app is hyper personalized, and this all the features that we talk about are already available for our existing customers. They can download, they can upgrade to the app and already start using it. Let's see what else is there besides the home page. Now, the second thing that we see here, which we talk about, is the Discover page. So Discover is entire thing what we have available is kind of offered for them a library or a self-browse kind of section. We have tried our side to nicely combine the beauty with the functionality. So this is easy to navigate, easy to understand, and also looks appealing for the eyes. You look forward to engage with that kind of the content. So for example, I don't want to go with the different interventions that were offered. I feel like, okay, I'll choose my own journey, own path. I come here, I said, I'm looking for something today with respect to relationships. Okay, so if I go to relationships, I can see an entire lot of content available to me. This can be blogs, this can be your webinars we have conducted. This can be some questions people might have asked from the experts that are therapists. This can also be some assessments, some comic strips, or some other crosswords kind of the things that are available. Okay, so today probably I would like to see, are there any podcasts with related to relationships? I put a filter on that. Now I see a specific set of topics which are of a type of podcast, so that I can just plug it. I can go around in a park and listen to them, and are on a relationship topic. Or today I want to check maybe some assessments on relationships. So then I see the specific assessments that are available on topic of relationships. Similarly, somebody else who is interested in a different domain of life. Okay, I'm today interested maybe in health related or maybe a self-care kind of domain. They can select their domain first and followed by which kind of content do they want, if they don't want to go with the first preference that we showed them. This also has the other category wise. Okay, so I don't know which kind of that today I probably feel like I want to go through some comic strips. Okay, so I can go to some comics. There are nice comics which our team designs and put it together, and I can go through a comic with related to a specific topic. I can like it. Now, based upon that, the further content is also recommended. So this is here also another set of AI personalization is used based upon what the user was going through, what are the different things he would have seen in the past. And based upon that, subsequent suggestions are shown to the user. Let's go back to the Discover page. Yeah, other things that the user says is that we have bring instant care on SOS kind of features right at the beginning. This is available both in the app and both in the portal. The feature we see here. In fact, all the features that you see here, I'm for ease of navigation showing a web-based demo, but all of this are available in a similar fashion in our app as well. So I can see some kind of quick relaxation with respect to particular areas, or I can also go here and book an appointment with our counseling team. So the counseling appointments also, like you can see, okay, I can make a choice based upon the different languages, because people are more open when they can talk about the individual languages that they speak. And I can also specifically select the different consents. So this helped me in connecting to the best therapist that is available for my need. So if I want to talk to somebody who can speak Hindi and who is expert into sleep related issues, this would be the best choice for me. And then I can find out when in the live slot, whenever the slot is available, and I can go and book an appointment with them. Then there are general things which are already available. We have tried to improve, for example, profiles. You can see the different activities, so that's easy for you. And you can also see the different benefits what your company has availed, because many times that was also we try to understand. People are not aware of it, the different benefits that they are already available to them, but they're not able to avail it. So all the benefits are shown to them. They can go through their different journal writing they can do here. And then all the assessments, history, everything that they have done is available. Each of this also is accessible from the global search that is available. So if I know anything about stress, okay, all the stress related things will come here. I want to find out anything with related to relationships, I can do that. I can go through it. I can do it. Like I said, all of these features are available right now. Our customers can use it and start exploring these features. What do they feel like? So this was about overall a quick demo of the recent innovation that we have done, what we are offering to our customers. This was a very generic demo I have covered for all the existing or the new customers. If you have any specific requirement or ask for a specific demo for your employees, for your HR team, you can reach out to us. Or the people who are already our existing users, they want to experience all of this, they can scan this QR code and download the app right and start using it. That was mostly from the demo part of it. We can take up any questions, queries that we have.
Thank you, Vijay and Sushil, for walking us through the whole thing. We do have some questions. You had mentioned about personalization of the content of the app and the portal. We have something on that as well. Can you elaborate on how the AI algorithm analyzes and adapts to each user's mental state to deliver a truly hyper-personalized experience?
Yeah, thanks, Shalvi. Okay, so yeah, this is from the overall core theme of the probably the app that we have. So to personalize the experience of the app based upon the user, because each user, like we said, is a different, we need to know a lot of details about the user. Some of these things we explicitly ask the user. Some of these things we have dug up in the past data that we have and try to combine both of these things together. We primarily take help from three different things. One is what the user very specifically tells us right now, because the mood is subject to change. What I'm feeling today morning might not be the same what I'm feeling now, and might not be the same what I'll feel in the evening. So it's very important for us to ask what the user is feeling right now. We ask them with a mood meter that we show, how are you feeling? And then also what is making you feel like that? That also goes as one of the input in the personalization. The second input is the profile data of the user. So when we create an account on the app, okay, there are a couple of details we ask from the user. For example, we know what is their age, we know what is their gender, we kind of know which company they belong to. By company, I mean to say which industry, because there are some issues we have seen are more common into manufacturing. There are some issues which generally more common into technology, some issues more common into say automobile kind of industries. So it helps us the profile of the data of the user in finding out what kind of issues probably he would be looking into it. The third is what we have analyzed from being into the business for a couple of almost a decade. So more than 60-70,000 of the counseling sessions that we have done, we have understand the patterns out of it. Like if somebody say 25-year-old comes for a counseling to us, what kind of the top 3 or 4 things the particular employee is interested in. So insights coming out of that then also becomes the third parameter. So these three goes in a real time to an AI engine, and the AI engine recommends, okay, this person coming, feeling now and coming from this kind of demographic belonging to a particular kind of industry. Then our AI engine kicks in and recommends, okay, these are the top 2 things what we feel like that are probably best suited for the user, then followed by a couple of more suggestions. Now, based upon this, also we have started, but this again goes into a reiterative learning. So if we are showing some options and we feel like that, okay, people are still going to selecting the third option or maybe a little later, slowly the app will become more better. The algorithm will learn from the user and become more personalized. Now those things will automatically start coming right on the top rather than maybe a little bit lower as well. So
Thank you so
yeah,
much.
a lot of things goes into personalization part of it. Yeah.
That's really interesting. Thank you so much, Vijay. And I think the next question is directed towards Sushil. Are there any risks using AI in mental health treatment?
Yes, we see a lot of positives in the AI and the application into mental health. There are also negatives. Positives are everything that I talked to you earlier, that the mental health efficacy will improve, the delivery will improve. So those are all the positive development. On the negative side, it's possible that as you know, companies try to understand more and more about the state of the mind of individual, um, it could be that some of the people could be vulnerable, and it's possible that in the wrong hands. I mean, I'm not talking about EAP in general. With the advent of AI, in the wrong hands, some people could take advantage of the vulnerabilities that are coming out of a deeper understanding about the human mind. Having said that, overall consensus, I think, in our community is that there is so much of advantages of the artificial intelligence and technology. It overrides some of that possible negatives that should not stop us from adopting it. It is possible that regulations will come in, like the GDPR in Europe, where people are allowed to opt out and such. So that's the conclusion. Risks are there, but far too many positives to ignore the possibility of artificial intelligence and technology in the mental health care.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And we have one more question for you, Sushil, here. Which is the larger challenge in front of us? Access to mental health care, or is it efficacy of the treatment itself?
I think like I said earlier, artificial intelligence can play a role both in the delivery, improvements in the delivery as well as the efficacy. I think that the efficacy, there will be a leapfrog, possible improvements in the efficacy in the treatment as we deliver today. As I described earlier, as we understand deeper into the active ingredients that go into therapy, it will allow us to extract that out and deliver it in variety of forms, be it through chatbot, be it through the therapist itself better equipped to deliver this more effectively. As for the efficacy of as for the access to mental health to the people that need it the most, um, part of the reason why it has not been that effective, even though the digital delivery has been in place for a while, is because it is not so well personalized. If there is a person who needs uh, the mental health solution in a particular language, sitting in an area that is more relevant to them, I think we will have a far better understanding about what works for them, and they will be pleasantly surprised how close it is, how relatable it is to them, and when we are able to deliver it to them at a convenient way and at a time when they need it the most. Could be 12 midnight or 2 a.m. when it's not reasonably expected to access a trained counselor, then these sort of availability through technology will be a big boon. So I think it's a summary. It will have an impact both on the delivery as well as the efficacy. Expect major development in both.
Thank you so much. We have a question for Vijay here. As the app's user base grows and more data is collected, how does this AI system that you were talking about account for potential, say, biases or some skewed patterns that may arise from such a data, such an extensive amount of data?
Yeah, interesting, actually. So see what will, in fact, the question is pretty much valid also. With time, when more and more data will come, because the systems, generally algorithms by learn on themselves, there are chances of, like you mentioned, the data particularly biased towards one side and ignoring the opinion or ignoring the potential use case of the other side of it. We have tried to put some checks and balances in place to address that kind of thing. That includes both your manual things as well as automated checks. So manual is basically having a human intervention needed in between part of it, and also being like a manual oversight over whatever goes to the in live thing. So we have a different way how do we develop, not just because it's learning in the live, it goes to the production. There's an internal team which checks, we run through with our internal employees. Only once we are satisfied with a large amount of subset of the cases that we have seen, it goes live. But all of these are manual steps that I talk about. We have not yet started doing it, but that also the second thing would be mostly into the automation part of it as well. So automation is there are a lot of bias detection algorithms that are also coming into this space, and a lot of explainability AI things are also that are coming up. So once we have sufficient data coming up before the problems start coming, we'll also be investing into those areas to make sure whatever recommendation we are giving to the users are entirely free from biases.
Thank you so much, Vijay. We have another
Janvi, I
question.
can take one more question about the activation, which was
Yes,
here.
please go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, okay. So I think there's question about how does the activation. So activation is if your organization has signed up for Silver Oak Health services. So both portal and app, you can go to the app store, you can download from there, both Android, iOS, as well as the web-based link. To log in, you just need your official email address. So an OTP is sent there to verify the authenticity, and then you can log in. For some of the organizations, single sign-on is also supported. So if your organization has opted for that, you can do that. And for some of the organization, we also support login by employee ID method as well. So most of the time, 90% your employee ID, if you email ID should do that magic, should be allowed to log in. But if you're still not able to log in, you can check with your HR what if they have opted for a specific sign up process.
Thank you, Vijay. We have another question, which is you said we use some AI engine. Can you speak a bit more about what AI is being used? Like what kind of machine learning or pattern recognition techniques are being used?
Sure. Yeah. So I'm assuming this question coming from who has a little bit of understanding of AI. So this is, I'll tell you. So okay, how do we started part of it that? So we know what are the different parameters that go for the prediction on one side. We know what is the output that is going to the other side. Now, generally, how the typical AI works is that you take the input, you take the output, you try different machine learning models and try to see which model is probably best suited for use case. We also experimented with all of them with the test data, with the training data. Finally, what probably suited in our case was a random forest classifier. That's a technical word for it that we used. And then based upon that, we tested it for the test data that we have. And the predictions that you see today are a modified or a more improved version of the random forest classifier AI methodology that we used.
Thank you so much. Okay, we have another question regarding the hyper personalization / personalization technique that we are using. This has been shared. I am curious why we use the term hyper personalization or personalization. What is the difference between the two? Importantly, what are the parameters used for personalization from the data? In it, these options we choose, is it the options we choose or the textual chat, etc.? How is it personalized?
Yeah, I think kind of probably the question came before we did it, but I'll cover in a little bit more details. So like we said, why we call it hyper personalization is that because we saw that the entire app interface on the home page changes. For example, all of us, if we open it now, if we answer differently how we are feeling now, maybe some of us will see talk to a counselor or a booking counseling option. Some of us might not even see that option as at all, might see some other option. Instead of showing to everybody, okay, you open the app and okay, there's a counselor booking appointment, because some of us might not need it. Okay, I'm going through maybe some challenges, say with respect to relationship. I just read probably a podcast or read an article or go through a podcast might be the only small bit of information I'm looking for today. So that is how it changes for all of us, the different options that we see. What we use here is the things that we talk about. We use how the user is feeling currently as one parameter. We use a lot of data from the user profile, the age, the gender, the different company they belong to, the different demographics. We also use a lot of counseling related knowledge that we have and insights that we have acquired in the past, like what kind of people are among what age, what kind of issues they are going through. So all of this combines to provide to the user a personalized experience.
Thank you, Vijay. We have regarding the privacy of the data that is being collected. How is data privacy ensured when participants' data is collected?
Right. So we do, because now the privacy part of it has also matured much. There are a lot of standard ways, best practices are also coming into the field. If you have to use data for healthcare, or if in fact for any field, what kind of best practices to do it. So we have based our methodology based upon that. For example, as simple as that, remove any identifiable data. So none of this is personalized based upon the user's exact company they belong to. None of this nowhere at all depends upon their first name, their last names, their mobile numbers, or their email. We remove all identifiable data at all and only work with something which is with respect to the case history or with respect to the different what do you call it, different interventions or different challenges they were going through with their life. So for a computer program, it is immaterial whether I faced it or somebody else faced it. What a computer program sees is that, okay, 30-year-old male person based out of Bangalore went through this, and this is what was the path he followed. So when we combine this at a high level, we aggregate all of these data, we see some patterns, and if you take out useful patterns out of it, probably we can assume the new pattern that we will see will follow one of the patterns that we have seen in the past.
Got it. Thank you so much, Vijay. We have one more question, which is AI has been known to give incorrect answers. How do you ensure that the medical advice shared by AI is accurate? How do you ensure we are not exposed to incorrect information?
Nice. Yeah. So I think so AI, if you see, was used in earlier also for quite some time. Only with the generative AI, I think these things are becoming more popular, where AI is giving more, you can say, wrong responses or incorrect data that people are seeing is that. So if you see in this case, we are not using much of generative AI. Whatever the options that you are seeing is that they're not generating out of the context of what we have in the app. So this way, we are very sure that the app will not expose or app will not say anything which is entirely out of the domain, because there are sufficient guardrails, the less use of generative AI. The options that you see here, the interventions that you see here, are among the catalog of the interventions that are already available to us. And that also with time we are checking, okay, if we show, say, for example, this interventions to somebody, and if we show it to 100 people and nobody selected or nobody used that intervention, then probably this doesn't needs to be there. Automatically data driven approach pushes this down and bring up something which is more relevant to on the top for the user to experiment. Yeah, I
Thank
hope.
you so much, Vijay. Yes, thank you so much, Vijay. We also have one last question to answer. Trends in mental health such as AI, VR, AR, any examples or app or history which can help in improving or detecting mental health problems?
Yeah. Sushil, this you want to?
Yeah, I think I think I did address this a little bit earlier. Um, the virtual reality currently is being found to be useful by the psychologists to address certain issues such as anxiety. Can you imagine someone is going through high on anxiety, someone is going through extreme stress? Can you imagine they are allowed to go to a room where they can be immersed in a virtual environment that can bring them a lot of calmness? And this is already available. And expect a lot more developments in this area will become even more better. That can address, for example, fear of height. It is not uncommon, and there are some programs that are now come up using virtual reality to train people to deal with those kind of an issue. Um, the AR is kind of a combination of human experience and the technology coming together. And I think that some of the changes that you can expect there, which is early signs are there. There are some ways that we can actually capture human expressions through which we can make some determinations of early onset of some of the mental health problems like anxiety and depression, so that we can take some corrective actions against it before the problems get worse. So these are some of the current examples of some of these use of these technologies, and expect further improvements in this space. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vijay and Sushil, for walking us through the new app, the look of it, and how mental health how AI affects mental health, and how we can use it to improve our mental health. Thank you so much for that. And thank you everyone for staying through this session. If you are our clients, you might have already received the emails regarding Silver Oak Health app. In case you have any doubts, please reach account managers. In case you have not partnered with us yet and are interested to know more, you can reach out to us in the number or email ID shared in the chat box with you. Thank you so much once again, everyone, for this lovely evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.